There's one Icon series skin that hasn't been in the item shop for a few years, but finally he's made his return. But first, this is Guff. He's a bird, and his entire life he's watched other birds fly around the Fortnite island, but has never actually been able to fly for himself. If you hit the thumbs up button on the count of 3, Guff will finally get to fly. 3, 2, 1. Hey, it worked. Enjoy flying around the island, Guff. Out of all the Icon series skins, there's one that isn't like the others, and not only gave us an awesome live event, but also hasn't been in the item shop for over 1,000 days. But all of that changes today as he's finally made his return. But first, look how close you are to 4.35 million subscribers. We couldn't be any closer. It truly would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button and be my 4,350,000 subscriber. Last video, I asked you guys to name this emote, and there's a bunch of people on the screen right now who got it right. For this video, we have a new emote. If you know the name of this, make sure to leave it down below in the comments. But we've wasted too much time. We have an absolutely insane amount of stuff to talk about. Let's hop into a game and let's get into it. Now, before we check out the item shop, where a massive surprise is waiting for us, first things first, recently we received a huge update to the Fortnite storyline, and I'm not talking about the addition of the Rift Warden either, because this is actually way bigger and way more important, and has to do with one of the most mysterious characters in all of Fortnite, being the Ice King. Whereas I'm sure we all remember, all the way back in Chapter 1, Season 7, located on the island was actually Polar Peak, which was essentially a giant snowy mountain with a castle on it. The castle itself actually belonged to the Ice King, and inside of the castle he had a prisoner that we referred to as the Fire King. We all know how this story goes. The prisoner ended up escaping to the volcano, while the Ice King himself tried to cover the entire Fortnite island in snow during his little mini live event. Following this, we were able to notice a creature's eyeball located inside of the Polar Peak mountain that after the live event ended up escaping from it, leaving a bunch of footsteps leading to the water, while the Ice King himself actually jetted off to the Ice Moon, which we got to see during the Collision live event, where the mecha robot also resides as well. Now, this is all building up to something huge that has to do with the Polar Peak monster, which we should have seen coming, because as we all remember, his remains were actually on the Chapter 3 island. Anyway, I'm sure we're all familiar with Donald Mustard, the chief creative officer over at Epic Games. Well, he's always giving us teasers about the future of Fortnite, and recently he updated his Twitter bio to say the Blue Ocean, and then the following day he updated it once again to say the Frozen Place, and even updated his profile banner to show this icy wasteland, and last but not least followed it all up with this cryptic tweet saying, "I want it all." More than likely, all of these teasers actually have to do with the Ice King, because it all makes sense, like the Polar Peak monster entering the water after he left the mountain, to the Ice King himself retreating to the famous Ice Moon, where he's been working on a project of collecting all of the most dangerous artifacts in the universe. But here's the thing, we know for a fact the Ice King doesn't have the Polar Peak monster's remains up there, as they were just on the Chapter 3 map, which we saw get destroyed during the live event. And I think the Ice King wants to get his hands on it, and basically this entire mystery is just teasing the return of the famous Ice King. Don't worry, we're just about to check out the surprise in the item shop, but first, it may seem like the Geno and the Oathbound have complete control of the Fortnite island, because after all, they have the giant Citadel base, as well as numerous different outposts across the map. But recently, there's been a group of people on the island who actually have a plan to defeat them. We talked about this a little on the channel, but it received a huge update, and it all starts off with the Wildcard character. If you go and talk to him while dressed as Ageless, he'll actually say, "I swear, your majesty, I'm a model citizen," which honestly sounds very, very suspicious, and we didn't believe that at all. And we were correct, because whenever you go up to the Aura character dressed as Ageless, she actually says, "Don't ask me what the Wildcard is planning, I'm just the hired help." And this is where we left off last time we talked about it. We found out that the Wildcard and Aura are indeed planning something that originally we could only assume was a heist, thanks to Wildcard's character description that says he's currently gathering a crew for a big job. Well, finally, way more about their plan has been revealed, and we're here in-game to go and check it out, where all we need to do is go up to the Wildcard NPC while dressed as the Diamond Diva skin. We'll actually say, "You want to keep up your expensive taste, you'll have to work for it," obviously referring to the fact that the Diamond Diva is obsessed with diamonds and expensive items. What's even crazier, though, is if you use the Wildcard skin and talk to the Diamond Diva, she'll actually say, "I'm ready when you are, darling." Now, I don't know about you, but that darling caught me off guard because I thought the Wildcard skin was dating Loveless, since they're basically the male and female counterparts of each other. But I guess we were wrong, and he's actually interested in the diamond-obsessed skin known as Diamond Diva, and apparently has even decided to involve her in their massive upcoming heist. And real quick, before we head on over to the item shop for the surprise, I have an awesome glitch to show you guys, and all you need to do is first equip the red line skin, which if I'm being honest, I don't think I ever used this before, so I'm kind of excited. After that, you're gonna want to ready up and go into a battle royale game where you're able to build. Now, once the game starts and you jump out of the battle bus, it really doesn't matter where you decide to land, but trust me, you're gonna want to make sure you pick up at least one weapon and then start farming materials. You don't really need that many, but get as much as you want. The rest is easy. You're just gonna want to pull out your builds and build a ramp directly in front of you. And now watch what happens whenever I use this skin and walk on the ramp. Look at her. What happened to her helmet, dude? For some reason, you're literally able to see the character's head sticking through the helmet. Now, I have no idea why it only happens with this skin and also only happens whenever you're standing on a ramp. It's definitely not a very useful glitch, but it is useful if you just want to make your friends laugh. But now, finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. We're all familiar with the Icon series here in Fortnite that was introduced for the very first time just over 2 years ago, when we saw the first ever Icon series skin release for Tyler Blevins, aka Ninja, who still to this day is one of the most legendary Fortnite content creators. Since then, we've seen so many things added to the Icon series, ranging from things like famous TikTok dances all the way to actual celebrities and athletes like LeBron James. This eventually led to a massive live event concert during the first season of Chapter 2, where Travis Scott, a popular rapper, took over the entire Fortnite island for a 15-minute music festival featuring some of his most popular songs alongside some crazy Fortnite visuals, as well as the Travis Scott Icon series skin. But they didn't just add one, they actually added two, with the second one being the Astro Jack skin. The Icon series items then remained in the item shop for the next week. Ever since then, they've literally never ever returned. The leading theory for this has to do with an in-person music festival Travis Scott held in 2020 known as Astroworld, and essentially the entire thing was worse than a nightmare, with terrible security, overpacked crowds, and way more, that unfortunately ended in tragedy and more than a dozen lawsuits filed against Travis Scott for his poor handling of the situation. At literally the exact same time this was happening, Fortnite updated the item shop for the day, and inside of the daily section was one of Travis Scott's Icon series emotes known as Out West, and Epic Games ended up disabling the entire daily section of the item shop and put out this tweet clarifying that it was an intentional decision and not just a weird glitch. Goes without saying, but this was clearly Epic Games trying to distance themselves from the rapper with everything that was taking place. I do find it odd that they never mentioned Travis or the situation directly, and even weirder that they disabled the entire daily section of the shop rather than just removing the Out West Travis Scott emote. Personally, I believe this was because they didn't want to permanently ban Travis Scott items from returning, so they just low-key got rid of it, because a similar situation actually popped up with another Icon series skin, this time being Neymar Jr., where a few months after his skin released in Fortnite, he found himself in the middle of some serious allegations. So serious that Nike actually dropped him as a sponsor. And for a while after all this happened, Epic Games chilled out and didn't mention the Neymar skin, and it seemed like he was getting the Travis Scott treatment. But now, as I'm sure you probably noticed, not only is he back in Fortnite, but he's literally an NPC you're able to interact with on the Chapter 4 island, essentially proving my theory that whenever something happens, Epic Games just likes to lay low and wait for the dust to settle before making any permanent business decisions. Because check this out, you remember when Travis Scott first released in the item shop, it was the old version of the item shop and totally different from the one and the layout we're familiar with now. Well, recently, Epic Games updated the Travis Scott skin to actually fit the brand new item shop, once again proving that Travis Scott likely isn't banned from Fortnite for good, and Epic Games plans on bringing him back eventually. As soon as he's back, I'm gonna make sure to let every single one of you guys know by making a tweet over my Twitter account at HomeOfGamesYT. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.